What is good, you guys? My name is Ruben Layer, back reaction video for today. We're going to be reacting to 7 Creepy True Horror Stories animated compilation of July 2019 by Stephen D. What the frick type of last name? But it looks like we're going to be reacting to this, y'all. Yeah, I don't know what else to tell you. I don't know what else to say, but I just wanted to say, I hope you guys are having a great day. I hope you guys are having a great Sunday. You know, Monday is starting again. We all have to go back to work or whatever the case may be, or camp or whatever. So I hope you guys are having a great summer so far. For all my Americans out there, you guys probably have school. You guys probably have school in August. So damn. Yeah, how do you guys feel about going back to school? We still have another month, you know what I'm saying? We in Canada, you know what I'm saying? No, but seriously, I hope you guys had a great summer. Let's get right to the video, y'all, and let's get it.
A week before Kim's 10th birthday, she walked to the corner store with a $5 bill and picked up a jar of ragu for her mom.
Ragu? What the frick is ragu? Sauce or something? Like it looks like some pasta sauce?
On her way home, a man she'd never seen before began talking. "Hi," he said cheerfully. "My name is Dr. Ramsey. I'm a pediatrician. Do you know what a pediatrician is?" Kim walked along silently, not replying and fervently hoping he would take that as a sign he should leave her alone. "I was just on my way to get some lollipops for the candy jar in my office. What's your name?"
Damn.
Thankfully, they were nearing her house, so she ran forward and went inside.
Oh, shoot.
Kim didn't know it then, but that was the beginning of a very long and very scary ordeal.
So you just ran to your freaking house, but you didn't even try to make any detours and try to, like, you know, go different ways, so the man behind you that's talking to you about a pediatrician doesn't know where you are? So you're saying you're just running to your house? And it was close by to it, and he was still there. Dumbass. Dumbass.
It didn't take long after that for Dr. Ramsey to begin showing up. He would drive by nearly every day, smiling and
You see? He knows where you live!
waving. Kim told her mom, who said maybe it was on his way home from work. But then the phone call.
What type of mom says that? What? A man is following you home and keeps talking to you and saying hey to you, and your mom says, "Oh, I think he's just coming back home from work." No.
And
What type of mother?
Kim's dad asked about the day Dr. Ramsey followed her home.
Yeah.
And if she talked to him. He said she wasn't in trouble, but that she needed to tell him the truth. Kim told him no, and he asked if she was sure or if she could be forgetting something.
Damn.
She said no again, and he frowned, then asked, "Then how does he know your name?"
Exactly.
Kim didn't know. It turns out that was not all he knew. He knew her sister's name as well.
How?
Neither Kim nor her sister were allowed to answer the phone, and he called several times a day. Then one night, one of Kim's brothers told them that he was telling their parents that he was going to hurt her and later her sister.
Oh, heck no.
Things got complicated after that. Kim's dad called the police, but as this was before there were any stalking laws, there was not a lot they could do. They told the parents to call back if he tried anything.
What?
Kim's dad then called a friend of his who happened to be a cop. For the next month, her dad's friend escorted her to and from school. She
Damn.
couldn't go outside alone anymore. Then one afternoon, all the siblings and their mom were in the kitchen, when all of a sudden one of the brothers saw a glimpse of someone in the garage.
Oh, heck
Dr.
no.
Ramsey came bolting out of it and the brother chased after him. They ran all the way to Cherokee Park, where he lost him in the trees. Kim's parents called the police again, but nothing came out of it.
Wow.
The only information they had was a description and a name that was almost certainly fake. A couple
Wow.
weeks later, the family woke up to something horrific happened to their German Shepherd.
What?
The cops said there was no evidence it was him and ruled it accidental.
What?
But none of them believed.
BS. Accidental my ass. Accidental my ass.
That.
You just killed my dog. Now I'm really going to hurt you. Now I'm really going to be... Oh, man.
His phone calls became more informative in the meantime. That night, the dad put in some carpenter nails in the bottom.
Bruh. Come on, man. We don't need these stupid ads.
him with the French doors until he got a new lock ordered. Her parents had to go to a company event for her dad's work, and the older brother was at a skating event, so only the 3 younger ones were home.
Oh no.
Suddenly, the top of the French door swung inward, and in the few milliseconds before the nails in the bottom caused them to snap back, Kim could see his silhouette. The sisters crept down to the brother's room to look. Someone was standing at the back door, knocking loudly.
Oh, heck no.
"What do you want?" she said. "Is this the Mercy residence? I have a pizza for delivery." She scoffed at him, declaring she was not stupid and she was calling the cops. Before they knew it, he left. A short while later, her brother returned home. Kim told him what happened and he walked around the yard watching for him. By now, the family had pretty much given up calling the cops because it never helped.
Why aren't they arresting how long does it have to take to arrest this freaking guy? What? No proof? Really? We see them multiple times trying to enter my house.
As the younger brother was in the kitchen, he had this sensation that he was being watched. He stepped closer, then closer again until he was right up to the door. There on the other side of the window was Dr. Ramsey smiling back at him. He turned to yell for his older brother, but when he looked back again, he was gone.
Of course.
They went out again to look for him, but didn't see him anymore.
Bro, call the police.
A week later, Kim was at school and the kids were outside on the playground during recess. She was swinging upside down when she saw that familiar blue car cruising
oh my
by,
gosh,
moving slowly. There he was, smiling and waving. He called her name and Kim ran to the teacher and told her. The school had been told all about him and the teacher took her inside.
The whole school knows about this idiot. The whole school knows about this freaking fake pediatrician, whatever is freaking. Everyone knows about this man. Everyone in the freaking neighborhood. But still, he's not in jail. Still, there's no cuffs on his freaking hands. Still, the police are clucking up.
Right away and called Kim's mom. That same day, her mom had gotten a call from the school office asking her to verify that Kim's dad was picking her up, as he called to say that he was on his way. He wasn't. Not long after that, Kim woke up one night thirsty. She went down to the kitchen for a drink, and there, sitting alone in the dark, was her dad. On the table was a gun.
Oh my lord.
He was tired of being afraid every time he left for work that something would happen to his kids while he was gone. Kim sat with him for a time, watching, before he sent her back to bed.
Oh
then,
no.
As suddenly as it began, it was over. He had vanished from their lives. The phone calls, the drive-by and creepy waves, everything. For a long time during and after the Dr. Ramsey incident, she would have a recurring nightmare in which she would wake up to find him standing over her as she slept. It took a long time before Kim felt like a kid again. She still wonders if the wait had ended for her dad when he was waiting in the darkened kitchen that one night. Kim doesn't know, and she's not sure that she wants to.
Man. It took the... And he's still lurking around. He's not even in jail. Wow, that's stupid.
Olivia and her fiance threw a dinner party one time to celebrate his mom completing chemo. She hired a caterer and they were expecting 25 friends and family. The caterer said he'd bring everything 75% done, but he needed to finish off some dishes in their kitchen. She told him that was fine as long as he finished by 5. He arrived as scheduled at 12 p.m., but the moment he entered the house, Olivia noticed that he had a disgusting smell.
Ew.
That made her uneasy because he was going to be preparing food for sick prior and young kids. She just made sure he washed his hands and then left him to his own devices, worrying she was just being presumptuous. The entire time, he kept asking her about the seasoning of the food and telling her to taste it. She said, "You're the chef, so I trust you. You don't have to keep asking me."
Okay.
Fast forward, he was still there at 5:45. The guests were arriving, so after 2 gentle reminders, she flat out told him she needed him completely out by 6 no matter what. He apologized and said there had been a delay because Olivia's oven wouldn't stay up to temperature.
What?
She never had a problem with her oven before, but figured he's the professional, so maybe it was a subtle problem. He gets his bags and packs everything up, but suddenly heads towards her bedroom. Olivia's completely taken aback and says, "Excuse me, where are you going?" And he says, "To change." She tells him she's not comfortable with him going in her room and there's a restroom to do that. But he insisted it will only take a second and goes in and shuts and locks the door.
What the frick? You're going in my freaking room. What do you mean? Get the frick out of my room. Do not change and just leave. What are you doing? Dumbass.
Olivia
I don't know what you put in that food. I'm not tasting none of it.
couldn't even get a word out before he went in and felt helpless. At this point, her fiance had come back home, so she explained
The story
the
seems familiar,
situation
though.
to him. Confused as to what was going on, he pounds on the door, telling the caterer to come out. The man opens the door wearing a t-shirt and jeans. Her fiance said, "You shouldn't be in there. You need to leave."
Okay.
The caterer responded and said, "Excuse me, but this is not your house. It's not up to you to decide."
What?
"Yes, actually, it is. My fiance lives here with me." Suddenly, the caterer goes nuts. He turns to her and screams, "You lied to me!" Olivia had no clue what he was talking about. He starts yelling about how she led him on and blurting nonsense, calling her disgusting names.
What?
He then goes in the kitchen and starts throwing the food out of the refrigerator and onto the floor. Without hesitating, the fiance and his two brothers forced him to leave the house immediately. Thankfully, the party then went on as planned. But Olivia
Yo, this fool fell in love with a girl that she just met for literally what? An hour? These freaking men are crazy.
insisted they just order pizza and throw out all the food he made.
Wow.
After partying, they went out late drinking with his brothers and got home at around 3:30 a.m. and passed out in their room. And then, at around 5 a.m., Olivia was woken up to the sound of the door opening.
What?
Olivia wakes up her fiance and whispers, "I think someone just came in the house." He said, "Probably my brother left his wallet or something." Olivia figured she's being paranoid when suddenly a loud crash came from outside the room.
Oh,
He
heck
told
no.
her to lock herself in the closet and call 911 while he went out and looked around. As she was pulling out her phone, they hear, "Olivia, hello?" And she realizes that insane caterer. She went outside and saw the man shirtless and clearly on something.
What?
He lunges towards Olivia and her fiance stops him while she called the
What the
police.
frick is wrong with you?
He tells him the cops have been called and it would be in his best interest for him to get off the property.
Heck yeah.
The caterer says, "I have to make sure Olivia's okay." Her fiance
What do you mean?
stayed between them while she climbed out the window. He even thought of taking the gun out of the safe. The caterer began to destroy their kitchen, and when the cops finally came in, they see that he has a knife on him.
Oh, heck
He
no.
didn't obey police's orders to drop his weapon, so
Taser.
they tased him.
Tase
As
his
he's
ass.
being let out in handcuffs, he's shouting out how he and Olivia are in love.
Get your crazy ass out of here.
Police asked to do an inventory of the house and see if anything's missing or damaged besides what they witnessed him do. They went around, but saw nothing. But then Olivia remembered that he was in her room. She quickly checked and found out that all her panties were gone.
Oh,
He
heck
was so
no.
freaked
This fool's a
out
creep.
in the aftermath that they replaced all kitchenware and they had a cleaning crew do a deep clean on the whole house. Olivia was so glad that she decided not to serve the food to the guests, especially her fiance's fragile mother.
Damn.
The caterer sent a letter from prison and thankfully her husband intercepted because she was still recovering from the whole thing. They gave it to the police who helped issue a no contact order. He was sent to 3 years in prison and thankfully Olivia and her family never saw him again.
3 years? That's nothing. He can just come out after 3 years. 3 years is nothing.
When I was about 6 years old, my mom started taking my sister and I to Dr. Daniel's dental office.
Okay.
The dental center was located inside a giant yellow mansion that also doubled as his house. When my sister and I got called in, my mom followed us into the office until she was told by Dr. Daniels that parents weren't allowed to be with their children as it taught kids independence.
Oh, shut your dumb
which
ass up.
my mom complied to. Growing up, I had bad anxiety and selective mutism, so the moment we all separated, I cried because I was so scared. Dr. Daniels did not like the crying, so he grabbed me and put his hands over my mouth and nose and shook me.
Get your hands off of me! Don't touch me! Don't touch my mouth! Heck is wrong with you?
And told me to stop crying and scaring the other kids.
Oh, shut up!
His hygienist Judy came over and told me if I continued to cry, she would spank me. All I
if you touch me, I swear.
wanted was my mom next to me, but I knew that if I wanted to get out, I just had to act like I was not terrified.
Okay.
After the first appointment, my sister and I told my mom that we were scared of the dentist, but she just took it as me being an anxious child, so we continued.
Is that why people keep saying that kids are afraid of the dentist? Because they're actually people like the dentists are actually abusing the freaking kids? And that's what the parents are taking it off like, oh yeah, everyone's afraid of the dent. Oh, we need to crack down on these freaking dentists. Y'all are clucking up. We're on your ass.
To see him. Each visit was just as terrifying.
Oh no.
Every time we went to the dentist, Dr. Daniels, or the tooth man as he called himself, always had us have heavy dental procedures done. We had sealants done on several baby teeth and plenty of teeth removed, some with his fingers with no regards to pain at all. He would leave us there with the retractor on for about 45 minutes or so before he came to work on our teeth. Sometimes he would eat his lunch while we sat there with our mouth open. Probably one of the worst pains I've ever felt in my life.
Oh my lord!
There was one time in the 3rd grade I was in so much pain waiting I couldn't take it. I sat up on a chair and tried to scream and cry as loud as I could. Dr. Daniels came rushing over, angry, and he screamed at me for being a big baby and scaring the other kids. I was so sad at myself because I hadn't cried in so long. He then took me back to my dental chair and then pinned me down to the seat in a straitjacket.
Oh my
gosh! Put my retractors back on and said that I would have to wait longer because I caused such a scene. Afterwards, my mouth would become so swollen and filled with rashes. It hurt to talk for days. He would often tell my mother I was a difficult patient if I so much as winced at his torture. When I was in 7th grade, I started getting braces, so I went to see an orthodontist. We stopped seeing Dr. Dan and I had a new dentist who was actually nice. I never known that getting your teeth cleaned didn't have to feel like going through a saw trap. I think my mom took us out of Dr. Dan's practice when the orthodontist looked at our dental records and saw a lot of unnecessary procedures being done on our mouths. Not long ago, I was having a conversation with a friend about our childhood fears and instantly my mind went to the tooth man. Curious, I googled him and to my happiness, the practice was shut down.
Good.
Also left under his name was a Yelp page that was still up. The page was filled with numerous one-star reviews from former patients that were once abused as kids in his office. Their experiences were so close and some identical as to what I went through. A lot of the procedures Dr. Dan did were just a scam for him to collect money off our parents'
This fool was finessing since you were kids.
And now that I think about it, he was probably so adamant of us not crying and screaming for help because he didn't want parents to hear and come and see what was going on. It's hard not to blame your parents in this situation, but the truth is this man was a swift abuser. For every bruise and swell, he would have dental explanations that would make my parents feel stupid for asking. I don't blame my mom for not believing us, and eventually she did come around. To any parents watching this, if you're ever told to not go in with your child to an appointment, something's definitely not right.
Something's definitely not right. What the frick? That makes no damn sense. I stayed at an old lady's house and then escaped. Why the frick did you stay at an old lady's house? Alright, this is gonna be a long video. This is like a 30-minute video. I might react to 2 more. This one, another one, and that's it.
In the late 1960s, my great-uncle John was traveling by train from his village to another to visit family. He had to change trains at one point and was dropped off at what amounted to a platform in a hut in the middle of nowhere.
Wait, what? Why were you dropped off in the middle of nowhere? Can't you just tell the person that was on the train, like, hey, where the frick am I supposed to do? Like, no, I'm not gonna be out here in the middle of nowhere.
There was no one at the station,
all the way clocked
and
up.
other than a dirt road that led off into the surrounding woods,
Oh, heck no.
there was nothing there.
Heck no.
He waited for some time, but no train came. It was winter and getting colder and darker, and just about the time he started worrying about a place to stay and some food to eat, an old woman appeared.
You got me all the way clocked up. You got me all the way messed up. If I see an old lady like this walking down the middle of nowhere when it's dark, I'm hauling ass away from her as far as possible.
Out of the twilight. She asked if he was waiting for a train, and when he said he was, she said it wouldn't be long until the following day. She asked if he needed a bed for the night and offered him a meal and a room at her house. He was glad to accept her offer and stay out of the cold. He took his suitcase and they set off together down the dark road into the forest. It was more than an hour away, and by the time they arrived at the woman's small 2-story house, John was tired and hungry. They went inside and the woman lit some oil lamps and warmed some borscht for them.
Ew, that's not borscht, that's freaking blood. She's a demon. That's blood. And you see that white stuff right there? That's one of the victim's tooth that she clapped from freaking 3-4 hours ago. Come on, bro.
John finished his soup and asked where he would be sleeping. She led him up to the stairs to a tiny room with a window that contained a single bed and nothing else.
Okay.
He thanked her. They said goodnight and she closed the door.
Where's the windows?
Then she locked it.
You're clocked!
Hitting him in the dark. Somewhat creeped out by this, John called to her, but she didn't answer and he heard nothing else. Figuring he would deal with it in the morning and that she had probably done it by mistake. John set his suitcase down and laid on the bed. Before he could fall asleep though, he felt the urge to pee and got out of bed hoping to find a chamber pot or something he could pee in. He got onto his hands and knees and began to feel under the bed in the darkness, thinking that's where the pot would be if there was one.
Whoa! What the frick? What the frick is there?
He found a body. John went right to the window.
A body was caught on. Didn't I say she catches bodies? That's the man that you ate. The freaking.
To see if he could exit the room that way. It was nailed shut. He knew that if he remained in the room, he was probably a dead man. But if he broke the window and tried to get out of the way, there was a good chance that the old woman would hear him and come into the room before he could get away.
She's an old lady!
So he did the only thing he could do. He pulled the body.
Do the switcheroo! Do the switcheroo!
From under the bed, heaved it onto the mattress and covered it with the blanket.
Yup.
Then he got under the bed and waited.
Do the switcheroo.
Sure enough, about an hour later, he heard footsteps coming slowly up the stairs toward the room.
Oh my lord.
The lock clicked and the knob turned slowly. In the gloom, John saw someone moving toward the bed. Then he heard several sickening thuds. The person had bashed the body on the bed with a large crowbar, which then dropped onto the floor right in front of John.
Oh my lord.
There was silence. Then the person went out the room and the door was shut again. John moved from under the bed and took the crowbar and was able to slowly pry the window open.
Good.
When the window was up, he threw his suitcase out and dove through himself, not caring what was below him, only worried about what was behind.
Heck yeah.
He landed without too much injury and began to run into a field behind the house towards some light in the far distance. It turned out to be a highway with some military and transport trucks on it, and luckily John was able to get a ride to another village where he could catch a train. He didn't bother reporting what had happened to the authorities, since at that time in the USSR, there was a distinct chance he would have been the one who got into trouble.
Oh, USSR, oh shit.
He just thanked God he had escaped and decided that the next time he traveled to visit relatives, he would take another way.
What the frick? So the man and the grandma are working. They're probably like family members. They're probably all clucked up in the head. So they kill people for no damn reason. There's murderers. They just love doing it for fun. They just love. Oh man, a girlfriend is it's a compulsive liar. Oh man, is that supposed to be surprising? No, I'm just joking. One more, and that's it. I'm just saying. Sorry.
Morgan was heading to this weekly improv show, but his friend, whom he usually went with, was out of town. So he posted an open invite on a university Facebook group. Morgan got exactly one response from this random girl, Alice.
Alice?
She came to the show and they hit it off big time. Cue the coffee meetups, the Netflix binges.
Ooh.
They started dating. Life was pretty good for a while.
Okay.
Then came the first messages. This man Morgan had never met, named Eric, was sending angry Facebook DMs detailing why Morgan's not a good boyfriend and that he's hurting Alice and how he just doesn't understand her like Eric does. Morgan was a bit annoyed,
Okay, I got you.
mostly confused.
Yeah.
He talked to Alice about it, but she just hand-waved it away. He's a jerk, she said. I don't hang out with him anymore. It wasn't the most satisfying explanation, but aggressively jealous guys aren't exactly an anomaly. So Morgan just blocked him and thought that was the end of it. A few months passed by. Alice had planned to study abroad, so when Morgan came back to school, she was already halfway across the world.
Damn.
It was only a few months, he thought. No big deal. But over those next few months, Morgan would become Facebook acquainted with a myriad of strange individuals.
What?
There was Leah. She sent an array of messages justifying Eric's anger, reiterating that Morgan's relationship was unhealthy and toxic, and that Alice and Eric have much better history. She also included a blurry photo of a girl sitting on top and making out with a skinny guy. Both of their faces were obscured, but Leah swore it was Alice and Eric from some time during the summer. There was Nick.